Yes, sir. Oh my gosh. I'm always so excited to come on this show.
Why don't you just come on this show every week?
Oh. But then it wouldn't be as special, you know? I feel like it's special.
I think you should.
The
people have demanded. They said, that's what they said. They said they wanted more Addison. I always hear it every time. More Addison. Every time Addison comes on. So maybe you should just come on the show every week. Take some pressure off me. I'm exhausted Tyler over here.
Maybe. It would certainly be something to consider.
We'll enter intense negotiations. How about that? We'll enter intense negotiations.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Hopefully a little more fruitful than Harry McLaurin or Dalton Schultz. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of news to talk about today. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions. I did my show yesterday. There was no news. Now today, all of a sudden, lots of news.
All the news.
And I'm ready.
So to all of the Ask DLF faithful, obviously I am not Cal. Cal is not here. If you are wondering, he did leave a comment down here below. Today is his youngest son's 10th birthday. So he is with his family today. So happy birthday to Cal's youngest son. And we can excuse the final part of this comment here. We don't need to worry about it. It's going to be fantastic.
I always give Addison a hard time anyway. There's no problem. There's no problem.
It's very easy to do. It's all right. I make myself very easy to be given a hard time.
You do, but it's okay. We still love you.
So that's where Cal is tonight. So it's just going to be you and I. Maybe Cal stops in. I don't know. If he has a little.
He will surprise us if he wants to.
Oh, yep. So let's kick things going. I saw the first comments in here. They're actually pretty interesting. So I'm curious to see what your answers are to this. Jake asks, who is each of your favorite fantasy players of all time?
Me? Let's see. I mean, the player who probably made me fall in love with fantasy is probably Arian Foster. So
that's my answer.
Aw, poor baby. It's almost like I knew that was your answer and stole it. But yeah, no, it's Arian Foster. In 2010, that was the first year that I won a fantasy title. That was Arian Foster's big year. And, it's just he wasn't, I don't remember what round I picked him in. He wasn't drafted very highly or anything. I didn't know what I was doing. But it was this guy who just appeared on my team, Arian Foster. I didn't pick him in the early rounds. And then all of a sudden, he was like a league winner. So yeah, no, it really is Arian Foster.
Yeah, that is also mine as well. Like I held him all the way through, when he went through Miami and all that kind of stuff. Like I was loyal Arian Foster.
I turned on him by then.
No, I couldn't do it.
I'm not loyal.
I know. I stuck through.
The people haven't been following my work long enough to know there was a time. This might be hard to believe, where three of my biggest truther players were Carson Wentz, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Juju Smith-Schuster. If you go back far enough, there was a time where I actually liked all three of those players a lot, like compared to the market. You might remember Clyde Edwards-Helaire if you were watching this show really early on. Because I didn't really turn on him until he started actually playing in 2021, and then it was bad, and then that was it. But if you watch this show, I've been against Wentz and Juju for multiple years. But things change fast. You got to be ready to adjust, right? I mean, if you stick with your take for so long just because you like a player, it's going to end up burning you.
Yep. Yeah, and then he also asked each of our top 3 fantasy Hall of Famers that we've owned. Have you owned any? Like, did you have like an amazing season from anybody? You and I kind of started, we were like post LT, so we didn't live through like the LT.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm post LT.
Adrian Peterson, maybe if you had him at all from that run. I didn't either. I had Jimmy Graham. His like, I know he was really good with the Saints for like 4 years, but I had him like that first year he broke out. He had.
I had Michael Thomas's 2019.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yep.
It felt like the one time you had a difference maker at wide receiver that I can ever remember. Someone who really made a difference at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I remember that. I had Christian McCaffrey. 2019.
Christian McCaffrey's fun.
A lot in 2019 because that's also Lamar. 2019 had a lot of those like big difference making years. I remember Mahomes is 2018. I don't know if I had any, but I remember Mahomes is 2018. How magical that felt.
I remember Peyton's, what was that 2013? His 52?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah,
I
like back in the
DT then,
day,
too. Oh my gosh.
Calvin Johnson's 2011 was, I mean, that's the year I had him. I forget it. He got off to a really good start. He had 8 touchdowns in the first 4 weeks. And I had him with Stafford at the time. So that was nice.
It's so fun to go back and remember the good old days.
Yeah.
Last one from Jake, at least in this string. Good news for Gage today. Did Otten's value change it all for you?
I mean, one day I'll do these short videos I'll do one for the DLF channel, but I did a short video today on my own channel about this. And then I went on Twitter and trashed Cameron Brate. Somehow the Twitter timeline, they think I saw it at least 3 different times. From people I formerly, thought were maybe knew what they were talking about. Now I'm not so sure. Thinking that Cameron Brate is going to now be a tight end 1. It's like bad players don't become good when other players go away. It doesn't work that way. So no, I don't have any interest in Cameron Brate. I mean, Cade Otton is what he is. Whatever. Like, stash him. I was stashing him before. And then Russell Gage. Yeah, I mean, I moved him up. Let's see, where do I got him? For this year, I have him at wide receiver 37 for the redraft season. Before I had him, I believe, at 43. So I moved him up 6 spots with Gronk officially gone. But, that my 43 rank was not assuming Gronk was there. It was assuming he was like 50-50. So I'd already made half the move. Probably the real move is like from 50 with Gronk gone to like 37, with Gronk there to 37 with Gronk out. So if you look at it that way.
Gage will be interesting without Godwin.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that.
Yeah,
absolutely. I do think that with time missed for Godwin, Gage, I will rank weekly in the top 24 during that time. And I do think that if you're looking as a contender, you're looking for some extra wide receiver help, I would have been acquiring him before now because, the best time to buy veterans like that is a long time ago now where people are starting to pay attention. But you might still have some time while people are napping. Like, get him as a throw-in before they realize that Godwin is not going to be ready to start the season. And even if Godwin plays, I mean, I think that this is a team without Gronk that could support. I mean, last year, if you looked at it, right, there was, of course, Gage is not Antonio Brown. But there was a period of time where you could start all 3 wide receivers on Tampa, and that was with Gronk. So I don't see, it's possible that Evans could be, really good. Godwin could be really good. And Gage could still return mid to low end wide receiver 3 value, even with both in the lineup. So, yeah, Gage is definitely the big winner, I would say.
Completely agree. Henry says, smash that like button. Henry's always.
And to anyone who thinks Cameron Brate is going to be good, I suggest please go watch the last 4 years of Cameron Brate. You tell me if that player is good or if he's just a guy. And you tell me. If you tell me he's good, then you're wrong. But at least you have the thinking correct. Good. You think he's good, so you can feel that way. But if you watch him and think he's terrible and you think he's going to produce for fantasy, then it just doesn't work that way.
I feel like I have a solid Cameron Brate rostership percentage in best ball when it's like in the 20th round. He's like my tight end 4.
I don't even want him there. I don't even want him there. He's just a blocker. It's just not going to do anything.
If he has that one game where he catches like 2 random touchdowns, I'll be happy.
Yeah. There's other guys I'd rather have. Robert Tonyan.
Oh, well, dude, I've had Robert Tonyan in like the 10th round, dude. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
No, not that high, but yeah.
Not that high. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean. It's almost like I knew that you were a truther of him. I mentioned that on purpose.
Yeah, Robert Tonyan is going to probably be like a top like 8 tight end this year. Probably what it's going to end up being.
Well, let's go to the Tyler rankings. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's going to be a long time. Yeah, no, I have him at 23.
Hey, man.
Sorry.
I'm going to gladly take him there, and I'm just going to enjoy.
You can have him. He's all yours. But I'd still rather have him over Cameron Brate.
Fair enough. We agree on that. Henry asks, in a 12-team Dynasty startup, 1 quarterback tight end premium, would you trade away? I'm assuming these are startup picks. 2 5th, a 7th, 10th, 11th for Kyle Pitts.
This is very complicated, but I would say I have to think so, right?
Yeah, and a 1 quarterback probably.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Yeah, I'll have to do that.
I have
Tight
a
end
Kyle
Premium
Pitts
too.
video coming out tomorrow.
Oh, do you?
Mhm.
That's interesting.
It's a conversation.
I think the people should watch that video. Don't you?
Thank you. I mean, I would think they should watch.
Hey, I watch your videos.
You don't always agree with them.
I rarely agree with them, but I still watch them.
Everybody needs to have both sides.
I don't pick content based on who I agree with. To be honest with the people, I pick the fantasy content I watch or listen to based on the people I like. So I definitely am biased towards my friends' content.
It's good to get opposing sides on what you believe, because then you can, maybe your mind will either not change, but maybe you can understand.
It's rare for me.
Viewpoints.
Yeah, it's more understanding the other viewpoints. Changing my mind
right.
is uncommon.
Right. Yeah, Henry said it is an FFPC, so they cut down to 14 position players every year. So
I don't like that. You know, I don't like that. That's not Dynasty.
14 is too much. Like, why not cut down to like 18?
Yeah, that's a keeper.
20.
That's just a deep keeper league. That's not Dynasty.
12-team Superflex, half PPR, start 9. Current QB 3 is Tannehill. Barkley and Pollard are his top running backs. Send Elijah Moore, Brandon Cooks, and Ryan Tannehill for Pittman, Gibson, and Baker.
Well, let's see.
I'm going to take the Elijah Moore side.
Yeah, I will as well. Tannehill and Gibson actually are very close in my rankings. And then Moore and Pittman are very close as well. Right. I have them almost identical.
And you don't.
But I would rather have Cooks over Baker. But this is a fair. I mean, if I knew that Baker was actually starting this year, if I knew for sure that was the case, then I don't have a problem with this trade at all. But I don't know that. So since I don't know that, then I'll have to take the other side for now.
Does it matter where he's starting?
No,
or just if.
I don't think there any place is a difference over another place. Like
he has good, like the options would basically be Cleveland with Amari Cooper.
No. Cleveland is not an option.
Right. But that would be like one of the teams. Like, he's not going to like Pittsburgh.
Seattle or
Seattle,
or
he has DK Metcalf and Lockett, or then Carolina, he's got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Christian McCaffrey. It's like
yeah. So, well, he doesn't have a Robbie Anderson actually, because Robbie Anderson may retire if Baker Mayfield is his quarterback. He might.
I don't know.
He might retire. I think it would be a good move.
Might be a good move. I mean, with in his career.
One of my least favorite players could get out of the NFL. He's one of the players that's caused me the most consternation over the years. I never get it with him. I don't know what people see, but he's not good. He's never been good. I don't get it with Robbie Anderson.
Alexander asks if Bateman for a 23 first and Tony.
Okay.
Or how about Olave for a 23 first and Tony?
All right. So Olave is not worth a 23 first on his own. So forget that one in any format. So that one we don't even need to discuss. The first one, Bateman for a 23 first. And I mean, if that's a super flex and that 23 first is a possibility of being a quarterback, forget it. Bateman's not worth a 23 first on his own. In a 1 QB, Bateman and a 23 first are probably about equal to me. So Tony is something. Don't like him, but he's something. So I will have to take that side.
Yeah, I'll take the 23 first as well. I basically think that if you could just hit the reset button on Bateman with a 23 first, I feel like there's going to be probably about 3 or 4 wide receivers that are Rashad Bateman in next year's class.
Oh, Rashad Bateman,
all the running backs.
Yeah, I mean, Rashad Bateman is just okay. I mean, as a prospect was not exciting to me. So, I don't know. I suspect that there are going to be prospects next year that are far more exciting than he ever was. So, not to mention running backs and quarterbacks. And we don't, wide receivers on the Ravens are not something we want to make the core of our team. So, yeah, I'll take the first side.
23 first. Henry was offered Barkley for Zeke and a 23 first in FFPC. His team is middle of the pack and missed the playoffs last year.
I can't do it.
I
can't do it. I can't risk it. I'll take the 23 first. I can't risk it.
Yeah, you maintain the production with Zeke.
No, you don't.
Possibly.
No. Zeke is
good enough production.
Zeke is so cooked. Like, I don't understand. People are so overconfident in Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, I still hear people talking about him like he should be picked in the top 2. I mean, I rank Ezekiel Elliott as running back 21 for this year. I don't want Ezekiel Elliott. He looks so washed. I mean, washed. Why would I want a player who's washed, who constantly decline? At the last 4 years has been a decline. If you go and look at Ezekiel Elliott, every year, efficiency is coming down. The numbers of touches per game is coming down. He's worn down. You don't want Ezekiel Elliott on your team. So you can't rely on him, but it doesn't matter because I can't pay. I don't want to pay this 2023 first for Saquon Barkley because if Saquon Barkley has one more bad game, it's really all it takes. One, I mean, his current ADP must be based on people who are, I would say we all live in, I often think that we all live in a shared universe of reality, a reality that we all share. But the people drafting Saquon Barkley at 20th overall in ADP, they live in a slightly different universe, not the one with the rest of us. They live in a different universe where Saquon Barkley is still good. That universe, I'm not familiar with that one. That one is not the one not the real one. That's their made up universe that they live in. So I can't do that. So I'll have to take the 23 first, even though I don't want Ezekiel Elliott at all. I tell Zeke for whatever I can get.
I would take the 23 first as well, and Zeke's side. Alexander as well. How late would you trade your 2023 first in a start 11 league, 3 wide receiver? What players would you do it for?
I mean, I don't know. Probably a lot. I don't want to trade my 23 first. Probably a lot more than I'm going to be able to get. So I'm probably not going to be trading my 23 first. Like, I would like to trade it for, I don't know, Jalen Waddle.
T. Higgins.
Yeah. How about that? T. Higgins. Yeah, that would be great, right? I would love that, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, no, I don't think so. Maybe if somebody really values the 23 first,
if somebody really likes 23 firsts, maybe, but
yeah, I really don't want to give up my 23 first.
Me neither.
Blake, happy Waffle Wednesday.
Thank you.
Tuesday, Waffle Wednesday.
I appreciate that.
He has Josh Jacobs in Dynasty, and I'm worried with all the talk out of the Raiders and no extension. Any thoughts or wisdom on holding or selling?
Well, I would sell because he is a plotter who the team doesn't want anymore. So why would you want a plotter who the team doesn't want? I don't see why you would want that. That doesn't sound so good. So I don't know. I mean, I would sell. There are still people, again, they see it a little differently. They see differently, but it says, you can go and look up the articles. It says that he's going to have a diminished role. There's going to be potentially goal line carries could go away to Zamir White, who is useless, by the way, at everything. He's terrible. He's terrible. No burst, nothing. Is no excitement. After those 2 ACL tears, I don't know what he still has, but he is a huge, big player who will, and all it takes is if he takes 3 touchdowns, not even 3, 2 touchdowns over a full season away. Jacobs goes from 9 rushing touchdowns to 7. That's the difference between being running back 15 and running back 23. That's it. That's how slim the margin is. So, that was between that and the contract, not either the 5th-year option being declined. It's enough for me to kind of move away from Josh Jacobs, who has been a plotter over the last 2 years. 3.9 and 4 yards per carry, a decline last year in attempts per game. He did make it up in the receiving game, but, is that going to continue with Devontae Adams coming in? I think at best, he duplicates it. At best, that's the best case, is he duplicates his 54 receptions from last year. That's the upside. I think it's going to be more like 2020 with 33 receptions. I think that's more what it's going to be. Devontae Adams comes in and is just going to put a big nuclear bomb all over everything else. I mean, he's Devontae Adams. He's other than Cooper Kupp, I mean, he's the target hog in the NFL, really, right? I mean, who demands more targets than Devontae Adams? Cooper Kupp, and that's it, right? So, I don't expect Josh Jacobs they're not going to need to use him as a dump off option. You have Devontae Adams as every option. So yeah, I don't just no interest in Josh Jacobs. You can still get out. I mean, his ADP says you can get out. Although honestly, I haven't ranked above his ADP.
I sold
his ADP is so low.
I sold Jacobs a couple weeks ago in a trade where I basically viewed it as I sold Jacobs and a 23 second for Travis Etienne.
I'd rather have Travis Etienne.
So I did that a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, I'd rather have Travis Etienne there.
That's totally something that I would do. I'd rather, if you can add like a second and move up, get somebody younger, more explosive, more upside, or trade down. I don't know. I don't want Josh Jacobs either.
You used to want him.
I know. I've gone on this huge roller coaster with Josh Jacobs in literally the past like 7 months, and
I know.
I'm back.
I followed along with it. I followed along.
Eddie says, "Happy Taco Tuesday." Last week, he asked the value difference between Elijah Moore and Deontay Johnson. He ended up sending Elijah Singletary and the 307 for Deontay. He's pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm not overly excited about it, but that's fine.
I'm worried about Deontay.
Why?
Just as a Steelers fan, I'm concerned a little bit because he depended so heavily on targets from Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that with Mitch Trubisky / Kenny Pickett, and if they are continuing to develop George Pickens, that the target share that he had isn't going to be there without Big Ben. And he relied very heavily on that. Like, that was really one of the main reasons why he was a wide receiver 1 in fantasy, was because he saw like 150, 160 targets.
I hear you.
He could still be fine if it drops down, even if it goes down to 130, he's going to be fine. I'm a little worried.
But good players earn targets, right? I mean, there's a reason he was targeted so often, because he was open. Unlike some people who are on the Steelers, who are now on the Chiefs, who are never open. Never open. Those people were never open. So they didn't get the ball as much because they suck. But, he is always open. So I think that will allow him to continue to get targets. I mean, if you're, let's say, a rookie quarterback, Kenny Pickett, coming into, which he doesn't sound like he's going to be coming into the game anytime soon, but let's say he is coming in at some point, wouldn't you want to target the guy who's always open instead of forcing it to Chase Claypool, who's just a jump ball receiver mostly, or George Pickens, who is, raw and not ready really to play in the NFL? Yeah. Wouldn't you want to go to a receiver who's always open? I don't see this as a problem.
I totally agree. And that's what, like, if there's any receiver on the Steelers who is most like Jordan Addison, who on Pitt helped Kenny Pickett break out last year, it would be Deontay Johnson. So I'm just worried. Like, Ben, went to Deontay even when he wasn't open. Like, he just became.
That's probably true, but that's true. But he won on all of his routes consistently over his entire career. So there also were likely times where he was open, where he didn't, where the pass sucked because Ben was washed. And if the pass had been on target, he could have done a lot more with it than, what he was able to do.
Yeah.
Because his efficiency numbers are actually bad. So, but I think that a lot of that is on the quarterback, because we know he got open. I mean, it's very obvious that he's always open. So you see him win. So,
yeah, I don't want him to be Terry McLaurin.
He's already done more than Terry McLaurin ever has.
Right. I just don't want him to drop to that level.
Sure. But he's already done Terry McLaurin. The problem with Terry McLaurin is he's never done it. He's never done it. He's really never given you he's never given you a wide receiver 1 season. He never even come close.
Wide receiver 20, I think is his best.
Yeah. So he's never come close. Whereas Deontay Johnson has already done it.
Yep.
And I'd rather have Mitch Trubisky as my fantasy quarterback than Carson Wentz. Sorry.
I see them pretty similar, but that
Mitch Trubisky supported a high end wide receiver 1 more recently.
I'll give it to you. J Lime asked in a 10-team, 1 quarterback, half PPR. He can only keep 12, and he has good wide receiver depth. Considering
this
making
is again
a play
not
for
a dynasty
101.
league. This is a keeper league.
Do we think Devonta Smith, CH, and Hunter Renfrow for the 101 is a fair offer? No.
No, it's not a fair offer. It's a terrible offer.
I would love the
I would
1.01.
laugh. I would laugh this offer off if I received it. The 101 easily.
What is he missing? I'm assuming take CEH.
I mean, he's missing a player who's actually he's missing a player who's actually good. I mean, that's what he's missing.
Oof.
I mean, he has nothing. I mean, I'm not getting anything. So I'm missing. This whole offer would need to be reconstructed. It's not even close.
Yeah, you're missing like a first.
I don't want any of these players. So why would I? I mean, Hunter Renfrow, I don't dislike, but he's not at the level where he matters compared to the 101.
Brees Hall.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we know that.
Silence of the Lamb asks as a more of a redraft question.
Benefits Russell Gage
retirement. Yeah, it's Russell Gage.
Yeah, Russell Gage.
And Tyler, I think, said Cameron Brate's like a top 5 tight end or something like that.
It's fake news. This is fake news. This did not happen. You know, the people need to know that Cameron Brate is terrible.
Cup or the 108 and a 23 first.
It's not good enough.
Cup, right?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Look, let's say your team is terrible and Cup is the only good player you have. It could be a situation. You inherit an orphan in that case. You inherit an orphan and that's your situation. Your team is obviously horrible and Cup is your only good player. I get it. I get why you would want to do this, but I would desperately try for more. I think he's got to be worth more. I'd at least like to get one of the premium players in this year's draft.
Right.
If it were the 105, maybe I get Garrett Wilson there in a 23 first. Okay, if I'm rebuilding and if I'm really rebuilding and I had Cup's my only asset and it's take Garrett Wilson in a 23 first or make no deal, I'll take it. I'll take it over keeping Cup. But again, I'd even like to push for more there. But sometimes in a rebuild, you get into a situation where you end up taking less value to reset your age curve because it's better than making no deal. Cup, Kelsey, those are players, Rodgers, players that are at the end of the age cliff where the value hit is going to come now. It's going to come now and it's going to come hard. So you have to make a deal. But this, I would take every minute of every day to try to do better than this before accepting it.
Yeah,
which I would not do. I would be desperate.
I completely agree. I'd almost go as far as say if you add your 24 first, I would do it, and that would be
fine. Yeah, if I got a 24 first with this, I would just take it and move on.
Carl's with David Montgomery on an expiring contract. Do you think he keeps a starting job in 23? Is he worth a 23 first? Maybe 2 seconds.
He's not worth a 23 first. Do I think he keeps a starting job in 23? Yes. Do I think it's in Chicago? Yes. Do I think that he's very good? No. Do I think he's going to be an RB1 again? No. Does that answer all of the possible questions about David Montgomery?
Are you trading 23 seconds for him?
Yes.
I would do that too.
Yes.
He's a solid running back. As your RB2, you can do a lot.
He's a better running back than Josh Jacobs. He's a better running back than Josh Jacobs.
I'd probably agree with that. And his upside's higher, I think, too.
That also. But I think he's a better running back.
Mark, hola amigos. It'll be Taco Wednesday for us as we head to Cabo in the morning. Oh. So make this show count. Alrighty. We'll make it count. Lefty says, what's up? Going to be a good show. You can feel it. Nice. Silence of the Lamb again, trying to get ahead of the Kamara suspension. Who would be the Saints running back if Kamara got suspended?
Well, I don't think that suspension is going to play out this year.
I don't either.
It could play out next year, but if it's one of these, it's Mark Ingram. But I do think that if Kamara were suspended, they would sign another running back. I mean, they had David Johnson in for a visit.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That would be if it was Mark Ingram and just this, I would want Mark Ingram. But if they sign somebody, I don't think I want any of them. And if Kamara gets suspended, I still feel like it's only like 2 or 3 games. So I don't think it's going to be very
long.
And it's going to be at the beginning of the year as well. So you're going to have all of your players healthy.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I don't even think we're at the point where if Kamara goes down, Ingram's just an RB1 for that week. I think we're past that point. I think Ingram would rank somewhere in low end RB2 territory,
right?
Weekly for me. on games Kamara misses. I just have no confidence in Ingram.
Yeah, I think playing this game is a little. If you have
I'd
the
rather
roster
have
space, then fine.
Yeah,
but,
I'd
like,
rather have Abram Smith over Tony Jones
Yeah,
because I know that Tony Jones is bad,
I
and
don't know if I
Abram
want
Smith
either.
might be good. We'll see.
Would you trade 2023 first for Justin Fields and Najee Harris?
This super flex.
I would assume so. If not, if this is one quarterback, no.
If it's one quarterback, no.
Super
If it's
flex.
super flex,
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to, but the value is with. I guarantee if you put it in the trade in, oh man, actually maybe not. I mean, I know. No, it would be the value would be with Harris.
Guy would be Justin Fields. Yep.
I think. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to remember. The 3 first would be about like
3 first would be a lot more than you think.
1,100 points probably.
Yeah.
And Harrison Fields probably combined to be about 13.
Yeah, the 3 first actually, 1152.
Spend too much
firsts
time.
Firsts are worth so much this year.
I'll take Justin Fields and Najee, but I don't like it. But
I don't really like it either.
I think what I would do is I would do this trade and then I would try to break each one of them down individually for 2 firsts.
Yeah, the value is with Fields and Harris, but it's not. I'm not that excited about that side. Fields, especially, I have no interest in him really.
He works. I would be selling him immediately after this, but yeah, it works. Darren Johnson says, "Happy Taco Tuesday."
Oh, thanks, Darren.
Lefty said, "No Cal. Nope. Taco Tuesday doesn't have the same ring to it. No.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday for Cal's youngest 10th birthday. Hopefully they're having tacos. If they're not, then that's a disappointment."
Yeah, then it's no good.
Ridley Truther, my boy, drafting a 12-team Superflex PPR 2 tight end premium startup at the 512 was the highest you'd get Hollywood. Already have T, Waddle, Andrews, Kelsey, and Deontay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I have Hollywood.
Superflex and you don't have a quarterback yet?
Yeah, it's not good. I have Hollywood ranked at 65th overall in this kind of format. So, yeah, 512 is a little high.
He's in there.
Yeah, 512 is high. You guys start getting quarterbacks.
I love Hollywood. I want.
Do you really love him though?
Love is probably a strong word. I really like Hollywood for this year, but everybody else is starting to catch up as well. So it's
I know. I know.
Mark asked, "Will this be the clash of CEH tonight?" Maybe. I've cooled off a little bit since I made my video. And it's sad that Jarrett McKinnon made me do that, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I figured it would.
That's all right. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Jarrett McKinnon is haunting you.
I picked him up in a couple other leagues though, so we're all right.
I have always had a soft spot for Jet.
Ever since he signed to the Niners for like
I've had a soft spot for Jet longer than that.
$1 million.
That Spark score though.
Gronk really retired. I think he did. I wouldn't drop him yet either.
I wouldn't drop him, but I do think that he's actually retired.
Yeah,
I'm leaning that way.
I feel like if he retired on the Buccaneers like he kind of did now, then I think he's retired. Like if he couldn't come back with Brady for one more year,
I think he's retired as well. But he could change his mind during the season, but I'm not foreseeing it.
Nick asks if Ryan Tannehill for Zach Wilson's fair. Does the Tannehill side need more? You need more.
Not fair. The Tannehill side needs a lot more.
You need probably you're
not going to give a first with Tannehill.
A high second.
That's not enough.
You need a late first value that's not a late first.
Yeah. Like Tannehill and I don't know. Darnell Mooney equals Zach Wilson, maybe.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I'll take Zach Wilson in that one. Yep. That
so
works.
would I, but more or less.
10-team Superflex, Cousins and Madison for Akers and Christian Kirk. He only has Mahomes, Cousins, Tua, and Mariota.
Yeah, and a 10-team Superflex, not as interested in quarterbacks. And I'd much rather have Kirk over Madison, so I'll take Akers and Kirk.
I don't want Akers or Kirk.
I like Akers and I like Kirk. Don't like Madison, really, at all. So, yeah, I'll take Akers and Kirk here pretty easily.
Listen to Tyler, because I would take Kirk Cousins.
You know, people can listen to me if they want. I mean, it's their team, really. I don't. Yeah, I've learned to be less invested.
Arian Foster. Everybody loves. Who doesn't love Arian Foster?
I'm sure you could find someone. That's the internet.
Probably. Let's see. Silence of the Lamb. Baltimore running back thoughts. Dobbins and Gus might not be ready.
Why aren't they going to be ready? That doesn't sound so good. Why aren't they going to be ready? It sounds like it's going to take a long time. I don't want that.
So who do we want in Baltimore then? This is kind of the Kamara question, but Baltimore.
I don't want Mike Davis, so Tyler Batty, I guess.
Yep.
I like stashing him. I mean, why not, right?
But, yeah, he's like a 4th-round rookie pick if you haven't drafted yet. So
why not? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how ready they are. For the purposes of these other players, it would have to be not ready enough for them not to play. I think they're going to be ready to play.
They just
question is, are they going to be ready to play well?
Yeah,
that's a different question.
Yeah, if Dobbins is like, if they're both ready enough to play, they're going to get 50-50 carries, basically, because they're not going to want to push either one of them.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the greatest. I don't want Mike Davis.
No, nobody wants Mike Davis.
In a 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium, Ryan's looking to tear down to a younger wide receiver plus from a wide receiver 1 veteran. Who would be the top 2 that you would target between Pittman, Bateman, Moore, Smith, and Judy?
Pittman and Moore.
It would almost be this order.
Yeah, I have Moore before
Smith
Bateman, but
last.
I'd have Judy last.
I still see upside with Judy. I don't see it with Devonta Smith. So
I don't either.
But Pittman, Moore, and Bateman would be good too. But it's kind of essentially this order.
I feel like the difference between Devonta Smith and Jerry Judy is that my confidence level that Devonta Smith is good is around like 75%. Whereas my confidence level that Jerry Judy is good is like 50-50.
I can see that.
Devonta Smith is just in a dead in the water situation, but situations change.
Right. As was the case with Jerry Judy. Perfect poster child of situation can change.
Problem is that Jerry Judy has never displayed being good. So it might not matter.
Who's better, Devonta Smith or Chris Olave?
Who's
Do you
better?
like them more than Elijah Moore? No.
No. Who's better? Devonta Smith is better. By
who would you
significant
pick
amount
between the two of them?
Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
Devonta Smith to me is quite a bit better than Chris Olave. It's talent wise. I don't see them as comparable.
You take him over Olave in Dynasty too, just to be sure. Okay.
To me, like talent wise, Chris Olave's ceiling is what I already think I know Devonta Smith is. Devonta Smith's situation is so bad that it's counting against him more than I usually do. If I were ranking based on talent, he would rank significantly higher. But the problem is that you can be impatient. I mean, in redraft, I have Devonta Smith ranked as wide receiver 36. So, and if he finishes as wide receiver 36, he's not going to hold his current dynasty value. Plain and simple.
It's been slipping ever since the AJ Brown trade too, so it's rough. What about Freiermuth or Komet?
This is not a question. It's Freiermuth easily.
Are you selling Cade Otton?
Yes. I mean, if I can get a third for him, yes.
Any third, money.
Yeah.
Lefty says that Ronnie Brown got him into fantasy.
I think Ronnie Brown is before my time.
Chargers, right?
He was on the Dolphins at some point, wasn't he?
Was Ronnie Brown ever good? Why do I feel like he's that like running back that everybody thought would be good, but never actually ended up being good?
Ronnie Brown, I mean, he had a 1,000-yard season in his second year on the Dolphins. And then he had a 10 touchdown year 2 years later.
Dolphins Ronnie Brown. I remember the Chargers Ronnie Brown at the end of his career.
Well, he was a Charger at the end of his career.
That was like also the Ryan Matthews years too. He was a fun one.
But yeah, that was after Ronnie Brown was washed
Ryan
up.
Matthews with 1T.
Yeah.
Nick traded a 24 first, Alberto and Justin Ross for Hollywood. I'll
Not
take it.
really. I mean, it's fine. I don't do this, so I don't just give up future first 2 years out for players that are not difference makers. You just won't see me ever do it. So not making that. Nah, that's how you get burned. That's how you get burned. That's how you screw your team for years. So I don't do it.
Yep. I'm working on some stuff that you're probably gonna appreciate. I'm gonna
That sounds
get you in
good.
on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could have played games against me. I like games.
No, because then you win. We played the Dynasty game night together, and you smoked the crap out of me. So ever since then, I just kind of don't want to.
Scared. Well, the people heard it. Addison admitted it right now. He doesn't want to play games against me because he's scared. That's the people heard it. It just was said right now. We're gonna clip that.
You can clip on YouTube, by the way. That's like a feature.
Oh, I know. I figured out how.
I'm waiting for like the loyal Ask DLF people to start like clipping things on here.
Oh, that's not going to be good.
Oh yeah. So Trogdor in a 12-team super flex, would you think a 23 first and second is enough to trade away Kirk Cousins?
Sure. Why not? Sure.
I think
like
so.
that's my genuine reaction to that question is sure.
I see that trade going either way, but I think I would rather lean the 23 first.
So would I.
Back to Nick. Burks in a second or Devontae / Olave in a first?
Deontay and Olave, I mean, I do prefer Devonta Smith, but the overall value difference is not much to me. So it's not going to change my mind. I'll take the side with the first.
Yep. Me too.
Either way, with no matter which player it is.
If you're trading Burks, I'll take Devonta in the first. If you're trading for Burks, don't do that trade.
Yeah. I'm not I'm taking a pass on Treylon Burks. I don't want him.
I'm wondering what's going to play out with this like training camp situation with him having asthma and stuff.
I just didn't believe in him enough. So it's not like Jamar Chase, who I was like, this is the best wide receiver prospect in 10 years. Treylon Burks to me is just okay. Just a mediocre prospect. So now that the news is bad, I don't want him anymore. I never really wanted him. I mean, I would never have had any because I had, him as wide receiver 3 in the class. I wouldn't have had any Treylon Burks at any point. I also had Walker ahead of him, so I never would have had Treylon Burks.
Me too. David asked thoughts on DK without Russ and a tight end premium. Which side would you have between Devonta Smith, Michael Carter, Dallas Goedert, or Metcalf and Njoku?
I mean, okay, in that trade, I'll take Metcalf. Now, my thoughts on Metcalf are that he still hasn't signed a contract extension and that there's going to be a better situation at some point. He's only 24. He turns 25 in December. So I'm not concerned about DK Metcalf. He is one of the, he's a top wide receiver talent in the league. So I'm not concerned about him.
We're playing the long game.
We know how good DK Metcalf is.
And if you want a little bit more information on DK, Scott and Shane released a mannequin chill. They did a mannequin chill live yesterday.
Oh, did
the first like 10 minutes of it is basically centered around DK Metcalf and players in his kind of ish situation and what to do with them. So, but it was inspired by DK Metcalf. So I would recommend.
I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah. They just randomly hit live, I get the
notification. When do I? Maybe I should do that sometime.
Maybe you should.
Tell me how.
Nicholas asked Hollywood or Mooney.
Hollywood.
Easily.
Not close.
Cody, who are your favorite rookie wide receivers not ranked in the top 6? Who is in the top 6? Because does Jahan Dotson fit into that or not? Because he should, but consensus says he's not.
And not in my top 6. But
Tyler.
Yeah. My favorite, like, deeper name, I don't know. Probably John Mechie.
Is it Wandale Elijah Moore Robinson?
No, not Wandale. You do like Wandale, but
Wandale Elijah Moore Robinson.
I heard you.
Khalil Shakir?
I don't dislike Khalil Shakir, but I think
I wish
I'm
he
lower.
wasn't a 5th rounder.
Yeah, I Romeo Dubs in startup value 2 rounds ahead of Khalil Shakir, and ADP has him 2 rounds behind. So that tells you that it's not Khalil Shakir.
I've seen Velus Jones in like the 5th round of rookie drafts.
Velus,
whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Velus Jones.
Yeah.
And he is interesting to me at that price.
Is he?
More so, I've seen Justin Ross go in like the 3rd round, and I see Velus Jones going like
I'm not in on
and
Justin
I'm like,
Ross,
what the heck are we doing?
I'll take Velus Jones over Justin Ross.
Exactly. At least that's an easy one. Am I forgetting anybody else? That's about it.
I mean, there's so many players.
I've seen some hype for Alec Pierce, but I don't know how.
Oh, I like Alec Pierce, but I didn't, he's not that low.
Jahan Dotson is the clear answer. If he's not in your top 6, he needs to be in your top 6.
Well, I'll take it to the committee of Tyler, and he'll get back to you.
Do you have him over Christian Watson? Please say yes.
No.
God. Oh. I've had that video idea of Dotson versus Watson for like a month and a half, and I've never done it. And I feel like I'm at the point now where people don't care about rookies anymore, that's not going to be a good video, but I so badly want to trash Christian
Just do
Watson.
it anyway.
Yeah, maybe I will. Later this week. We'll see what happens. Nick's trying to trade Fields for Watson for a rebuild. It's only one quarterback, and he has Kyler, but Watson getting a year suspension could make prices a buy low opportunity.
Can we not? Like, I'd rather not.
Why don't, if you already have Kyler and a 1 quarterback, you don't need anything else ever again for the next decade.
That's true. Also, I don't want to trade for Watson because, just because some of the cases were settled, there could be new cases. There could be new cases at any time. I mean, we already know that there were 2 other potential cases that may or may not still be filed. And let's remember, the statute of limitations does not expire until March of 2023. So until that point, there could be any number of new cases at any time. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think I want to trade for Deshaun Watson right now.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to trade for him now. And the suspension needs to come down.
It's going to come down. Right? It's going to be very soon.
Right. But it needs to come down for the prices to come down because people are just holding on to him. But then if he is suspended for a whole year, you have to just have him as a rock on your roster. Like you've
already done that for 1 year.
It's just a dead space. Right. But I mean, if you're buying him now, that's
why
I don't think prices would change at all between the suspension and January.
I think it's going to be a longer suspension than people think.
I think it could be a Josh Gordon situation until something happens positively.
It's possible. He hasn't really admitted any wrongdoing. And I know with the NFL that they're come down much harder on people who don't admit that they did anything wrong.
It's a whole weird situation that I just kind of also want nothing to be a part of.
I agree with that.
Burks or Godwin for rebuild? It's still Godwin, right? Godwin's more valuable.
I don't want Burks.
Henry asks if he's certifiably crazy, which I doubt was even possible. And that FFPC startup, he has Pitts, Waddle, and Metcalf as his only players through 15 rounds. Oh. But he has 6 firsts next year and 14 picks in rounds 16 through 20.
You're a little crazy. That seems odd.
Crap.
I feel like you could have done better than that. Yeah, I'd say you're a little crazy.
Well, he traded. How many of those picks were for Pitts?
Yeah, but you should have more than, I don't know. Clearly, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's kind of crazy.
I am very curious to see how this plays out.
I want to see how that works out, but not what I would do.
I want to know who your 14 players are.
Yeah, not my style. I do a lot of trading down, trading for 2023 first plus. I don't end up with teams like this.
Carl's in a 10-team Superflex PPR, CeeDee Lamb or a 23 first, 24 first, and 23 second.
Good question.
I think I'll take Lamb.
I will as well, but it's about right.
I feel like
I'll take Lamb.
If Lamb has a fine CeeDee Lamb season, I still think you can get this next year.
I'll take Lamb.
Yep. Richard traded Claypool and Gallup for AJ Dillon in a 10-team start 12 rebuilding team.
Take Dylan.
Man, it doesn't feel like you should take Dylan, but you should.
Yeah, I'll take Dylan.
That's where we're at with Chase Claypool, and I don't know if that's unfortunate or not.
It is what it is.
Jameson Williams or 23 first?
Give me the 23 first.
First. Hit that reset button again. There's going to be like 3 Jameson Williams in the next year's class too.
Yeah.
Eric Addison, a 12-team Superflex. CeeDee Lamb or DJ Moore and a 24 first, or DJ Moore and ETN.
I'll take the package both times.
Would you prefer one or the other? Because I'm on DJ Moore and ETN.
No, I'll take ETN over the 24 first.
There it is. CeeDee Lamb for DJ Moore and ETN. We'll take the DJ Moore side.
Package side.
Yep. Let's do it. Richard also traded a 24 first and 25 second and John Mechie for Ayuk and 23 second.
Sorry. Don't like this one.
First.
Yeah, I'll take the first. I don't like this one.
I think the first is more valuable than everything in this deal combined.
I don't know if I would say that, but I'd rather have a 24 first over Ayuk easily, and I'd rather have, even though that other second is far away, I'd rather have that and Mechie over the 23 second. So yeah.
Sorry about that one. We don't have your back there.
We don't agree. I'm with you.
Schultz, 12-team Superflex, start 13. Metcalf in a 24 second, or London and a 23 first. Oh my gosh.
This is where we are, right?
This is where we're really testing out.
Yeah, we're testing us. We're testing our resolve here. I think I have to take London in the 23 first, even though I don't really want to. I think I have to. 23 first is worth a lot. So
I feel like I answered something similar to this on Twitter.
I think I waffle on questions like this a decent amount, depending on what mood I'm in when you ask me. But here we are, and I'll take the London side.
I'll take the London side as well. I feel like London and Metcalf are in similar situations. We just know Metcalf is good. We don't know that London's good yet, although I think he is.
23 first is a lot. Like 23 first is good though. If you miss on that,
that's really good insurance.
You get a good consolation prize,
Right. So I'll take London in the 23 first, and we'll hope for greener pastures for Drake London.
Yeah.
Richard, what would you be looking to acquire for either Dak, Lawrence, or Hurts? Rebuilding and have 3 23 first currently, along with my own, so you can tank for the 101, 102. I think I'm trading Hurts out of all of those if you're rebuilding.
Me too. Yeah.
And I'm looking for a couple more.
Couple firsts. Yeah, I agree.
More.
Hard though. I never see anyone get the value for Hurts that he's really worth. So it's tough. It's a tough one to trade.
He might be somebody that you take into the season. The good thing with all 3 of these quarterbacks is that none of their values are going to change between now and the season.
Probably not. No.
So if you want to wait for somebody to like if Lawrence just like pops off in the first 3 weeks, maybe that raises his value a lot to where he's more comfortable of a sell, that you get more for him than Hurts or whatever,
Yeah.
And you can see what happens. You can just kind of see how the production works.
I'm fine with that.
I think you're in a good position. Gavin worried that he overpaid for Justin Jefferson. He gave Devonta Smith, Michael Pittman in a 23 first in a 12-team.
I don't think you overpaid. I think it's fine.
I think you went and
I think you won. Yeah, I think you won. I don't think you overpaid at all. So congrats. I love it.
Yep. I think you got yourself a stud. What do you think about trying to trade for players off of another team in order to weaken them because you own their 23 first? The strats. Guy traded away DJ Moore, traded Claypool for Cordarrelle. Finish him.
I don't understand this question. It's too galaxy brain.
What do you think about trading players off of a team that you own their first? Is that even a thing that crosses? I never even thought of doing that.
I never even thought of that.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna have to consider that one more. He traded away DJ Moore, and then you traded Claypool for Cordarrelle.
I mean, it is what it is.
I like it. Oh no, I scrolled too far. What we got? DK Metcalf and Devonta Smith or Hollywood Brown, a 23 first and a 23 third. We got a lot of DK
Right.
Metcalf.
This time I'll
Devonta
take
Smith, and
DK
Hollywood.
Metcalf. Yeah, take DK Metcalf this time.
Oh my goodness. I just realized his name's Order 66. That's terrifying.
Is it? Why is that terrifying?
You don't know what Order 66 is?
No.
Oh my goodness. I literally just watched Revenge of the Sith like 2 nights ago.
I've never
Star
seen
Wars.
any. Yeah, I've never seen any of that.
It's Star Wars. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the order that the
That's the
Emperor
that's the one with
tells
the
all the
lightsabers, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're done with this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Yoda dude. Yeah. I think I've heard of it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
There's some guy, Darth Vader, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, he's in Fortnite now. I will take DK Metcalf. I'll agree with you and disagree with you on your Star Wars hatred.
It's always I
Slash
didn't say
indifference.
I did not say I hated it.
Indifference.
It's fake news.
Jake acquired 523 seconds. Does he keep him or make a deal?
I can't answer that question. I don't know. Like, you can keep them or make a deal. Like, no, I appreciate the question, Jake, but like, I don't. How do you expect? Like, be honest with me. Like, how do you expect me to answer that? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm always open to making trades with any assets I have, right? Like, you're always open to it. And you never know, like someone could come along and really want your 23 seconds and then you like make a big deal. Or if nobody wants them, then you hang on to them until the end of the season, right? Like be flexible, I think is my answer. You can trade them or not trade them. I know that's like an evasive or like not helpful answer, but it's the truth.
It's
that's
not
the real
a bad
answer.
thing to have them.
It's not a bad, well,
they're liquid assets that just.
It's never a bad thing to have them. For sure. It's not bad. Yeah, they don't, it's true. They don't take up roster spots.
So yeah, see what happens. If you start producing and you can trade one of them or, for a running back that you really need, then, we can make that deal and stuff. But it's hard to answer now. I do agree. You can come back in season and we'll see where we're at with those 5.
Yeah, if I'm still alive by then, you never know. It's not a guarantee.
Doesn't bringing in David Johnson indicate Kamara could be suspended?
No.
I think bringing in David Johnson means the Saints realize that the only running backs they have behind Kamara are Mark Ingram, Tony Jones, and Abe Smith.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
David Johnson is washed. I mean, we know that.
Who is calling me?
Answer it.
It's my wife. I don't want to.
Oh, no. She's going to hear that.
No, it's okay. Is it? Moving on. Is Jalen Darden worth a pickup? 30-player team, 12 team. 30-player league, 12 teams.
He's not.
No. Wide receivers that deep are almost never worth a roster spot.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't roster more than like 7 or 8 wide receivers. Oh, my goodness. Why does she keep...
Just answer it.
No. If she calls one more time, I will answer it. Then we'll see what happens.
This could be a very interesting segment. You don't want to know what I was about to say, but then I stopped myself from saying it.
Michael, in a 10-team, 1 quarterback, half PPR, he's in a full rebuild. He has Gage. Should he sell now with the news or hold? If so, what's a good price for him? He had an offer of 2
I'm good
seconds.
selling now. Yeah, I'm good selling now. If you can get 2 seconds, I would sell for sure.
Absolutely.
You can capitalize. You always capitalize. I mean, if you like a player, you can still capitalize. Ooh, what's this one?
She texted me. It's like semi-important. I'll be back in 5 minutes. You got this from here, right?
Go for it.
No, you got it.
Okay. Well, hello, people. I'm now in control of this show. All right. I will take command. I have not done a solo anything other than my Patreon. I do my Patreon show solo, so I do have a little bit of experience with doing non-solo, but nobody watches those other than a few people live, like 2 or 3. So I'm not used to it. Addison and Gal are great. If we haven't realized, they're very good at getting the best out of me. I I can be a little all over the place. Should I drop Tony Jones for Jalen Darden? No, I'd rather have Tony Jones. Jalen Darden, I don't want at all. Period. No point. Look, I read the ESPN article. Actually, I read the ESPN article today from, I believe, Jenna Lane, I want to say, Bucks beat reporter. She did not put Jalen Darden on her final 53-man roster for the Bucks. So he's not even going to make the team. He's not one of their best 7 wide receivers. So no, we don't want Jalen Darden. Okay. What's your pivot point out of rookie 2022 drafts to 2023 draft class past the first round? I have a bunch of thirds, fourths, 2 thirds for a random 23 third, or is third still just a third in any class? Well, I would say it's a third is a third in any class. I'm not thinking about it this way. Like I want to trade 22 fourth for a 23 third. That would be nice, but I'm not galaxy braining so far ahead to say that the thirds next year are going to be better than the thirds this year. Maybe the seconds, but not the thirds. All right. Ooh, I wish I had Addison for this one. I was offered Trevor Lawrence, 23 first and 23 second for Herbert. Would either of you accept? Well, unfortunately, Addison is temporarily indisposed. But I would have to seriously consider it. I mean, Trevor Lawrence for me is still a 2nd round startup pick, and he is an ADP as well. And, Justin Herbert is great, but it's a lot. It's a lot to pay. A 23 first and Lawrence and a 2nd, all for Herbert. Is Herbert really worth that much? I probably wouldn't pay it. But if I have Herbert, I'm not sure I'd take this offer either. So if that helps answer your question. Oh, okay. In a 12-team Superflex, 2 tight end premium auction, how much you allot for each position? Yeah, this is not the kind of question I can answer on a live show. I will be just honest with you. I do not have a lot of experience doing auctions. So yeah, I probably won't get an answer from this on me on Twitter either. This is probably a Patreon only question for me to like look at an auction draft. I don't enjoy auctions very, very much. So yeah, unless you're going through my Patreon and the team management tiers, I don't know that much about auctions, especially not on a live show. Okay. From Gavin, would you drop Khalil Hill for Jerick McKinnon if you roster CEH? One more thing about auctions. There are plenty of people at DLF who are very into auctions. So use the DLF forums and there's an Ask DLF forum on there as well. You can ask the DLF team and you'll get an answer from someone who knows more about auctions than I do. We dropped Khalil Hill for Jerick McKinnon if you roster CH. It doesn't matter whether I roster CH. I'd rather have Jerick McKinnon because during the playoffs, I mean, he was the guy, whereas Clyde was on the bench. Khalil Hill, I don't think is going to make the team for the Packers. And I will say, I don't know if people know this, but Khalil Hill, I made a post on Twitter criticizing him, and he responded. He responded to that. And then I was like, hey, Khalil, prove me wrong. Like, go out there, prove me wrong. And he felt bad. He deleted his comment coming after me. Clearly I was too nice. I was too nice. He deleted that attack, but I wish he'd left it. I wanted to look back at it. Yeah, that's about the previous question. Okay. 12-team Superflex, 1 half tight end premium. Thoughts on Hawkinson? I wish Addison were here because I don't think he likes Hawkinson very much. But I'm still in on him. So yeah, I would draft him at his cost. I don't see Hawkinson traded much though. To be honest, he's not a player who's really moved very often. So yeah, I like him. I still think he has upside. He hasn't even turned 25 yet, or if he does, it's very soon. I know he's a 97 birthday. So yeah, I am in on him at his current ADP. Okay. Kelsey and AJ Dillon for Jalen Hurts. Is that fair? I mean, if that's a tight end premium format, that's somewhat fair. I'll still take the quarterback with Jalen Hurts, but it's somewhat fair. If it's not tight end premium, then I'll take Jalen Hurts easily. ETN to the moon. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he has a receiving upside. So yeah, he has a chance to go to the moon. AJ from Cody. AJ Dillon will feast when they get rid of Jones. Well, they're not getting rid of Jones this year, so it's going to be a split backfield. And I would say that I still have Aaron Jones ranked higher for redraft. I have Aaron Jones not as high as most. I have him at 16, and I have AJ Dillon at 25. So I could see both being productive. But yeah, I mean, if they get rid of Jones after this year and AJ Dillon is the starter, he has top 10 upside. And he'll already be 25 at that point, so it'll already be kind of time to move on. Unfortunately, he'll be a sell for me at that stage. So Addison says, I agree, but for only 2 seasons. Not sure what you're agreeing with. Okay. Sleeper, Nico Collins, Terrace Marshall, or Cade Otton. Well, not Cade Otton. Cade Otton is like a desperation dart throw. The other two, honestly, they're close. I would go with Nico Collins because he showed more. Although Terrace Marshall is in a better situation. So I really don't believe in Robbie Anderson. And Terrace Marshall is also getting good camp hype. We're actually at a point where, even though I do not like Terrace Marshall, I have him ranked 40 spots above his ADP. So I do, kind of believe in him. Given age, I'm not sure. Okay. From BJ, Judy and 203 or Pittman? Well, I will take Pittman. We talked about Judy earlier, how I don't believe necessarily that he's good. And I know that Michael Pittman is good. So the 203 is going to be like a middle of the road rookie. I'm not enough to sway me between Judy and Pittman, so I'll go with Pittman. Okay. What players would be willing to trade straight up for Pitts? 10 team Superflex, no 10 in premium. Tried Hawkinson plus picks. Person countered asking for Swift straight up. Contending team. Yeah, Swift is about right. To me, Swift and Pitts have almost identical value in that format. So yeah, that's about right. And if you really like Pitts, I'm fine with that. All right, from Cat Zero. Man, I just must be a noted Hollywood hater. Are you? I don't know. All right, Silence of the Lamb. I go through these questions much faster when I'm on my own, I suppose. 12 team Superflex, Trevor Lawrence. So keep getting those questions in, because otherwise I'm gonna have nothing to talk about. You'll get to hear me talk about how I never seen Star Wars or whatever the people probably don't want to hear about. Oh, and here come the sirens. Our weekly sirens are here. Every week there's our sirens because I live on like the busiest street in New York. So there you go. Anyway, Trevor Lawrence and Clyde or Tua and AJ Dillon. Well, I do like AJ Dillon better than Clyde, but it doesn't matter compared to the difference between the quarterbacks. So I'll take Trevor Lawrence. From Jake, Khalil Shakir or Josh Palmer. Even though there's a lot more hype around Khalil Shakir, I will take Josh Palmer. And I actually don't have it very close. I have Josh Palmer ahead by a lot. I want the guy in Justin Herbert's offense. Yeah, I like Josh Allen, but I'm not as, passing wise. I'd rather have Justin Herbert. So, because Josh Allen does a lot more with his legs. Justin Herbert is more a pure passer. So yeah, I'll take Josh Palmer. Also, Josh Palmer has a better chance of being the wide receiver 3. Khalil Shakir has to overcome Jamison Crowder. All right. From John, Tyreek Hill or Kadarius Toney and Elijah Moore. Now, Tyreek Hill's ADP kind of is like a little weird to me. He's ranked so much higher than someone like Mike Evans, but I'm not really sure why, because now he's on the Dolphins. I don't know if he has the same Chiefs Hill upside. But yeah, I guess I'll take Tyreek Hill should return more value than this, but I get it. If you're in a rebuild, I can understand why you would do it, but you should get more. Given the ADPs, Hill is multiple rounds ahead of Elijah Moore. You should get more for Tyreek Hill than this. But I understand. It also doesn't help that I'm not in on Kadarius Toney. Okay. It looks like we may have a return. Well, you missed me telling the people all of your dirty secrets.
No.
And airing all of the dirty laundry.
Ah, man. I was afraid that might happen.
You'll have to watch the show back and see everything that I said.
Cool. Where are we at?
How is life?
Oh, my wife started a new job and she needed tech support because she's starting to work from home now. Has never done that before, so.
Oh, okay.
It was
You never know. I mean, when someone's calling you that many times, it can be something crazy.
No, yeah. No, we're all good. We're all good on the Hayes front.
Yeah, I was thinking Addison might have found out that he was going to be a dad live on the air.
No, we're not that. Nope. No. You calm down.
Addison's younger than me, for those who don't know.
Not by much, though.
Not by much. You're like a year and a half younger. February 95.
Okay.
What are you?
You're right. September 96.
Yeah. So a year and a half.
Year and a half. Yep. Did you answer this one from John?
Yes.
So we're on Nick?
Yeah.
Let's do it. 10-team super flex. Watson is his QB2 and looking to get a quarterback. Should he move Waddle, Lamb, or AJ Brown to acquire Herbert or Lance? If so, how would you construct that move?
Yes. I would like to do that. I don't know. I mean, can you trade Waddle for Lance straight up, maybe?
Oh.
People are a little down on Lance that Jimmy's still there. It's a 10-team super flex, which might make making the deal easier.
Right. And I almost wonder if you could get a little something with Lance.
I don't think you can get something with Lance, but I think you might be able to make the deal straight up.
And you do that? You do Waddle for Lance?
Yes, I would.
Would you do CD? I'm assuming you do any of those three individually for Herbert. That's probably a no-brainer.
Oh, I mean, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Would you rather do Waddle and Lance, Waddle for Lance, or Waddle and 23 second for Herbert? Or am I
Waddle
not
a second for Herbert?
Waddle and first for Herbert.
I'll do Waddle for Lance then.
Okay. I like.
There was a question about Trevor Lawrence in a first and second for Herbert, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, I don't like Trevor Lawrence.
I know you don't, but it's okay. We can all be wrong.
We have a vote for the rookie video. All right, I'm gonna do it.
I do feel most rookie drafts are in May.
Right. That's why, we've kind of gotten in. It's late June now. I can see if
June is June is a brutal month for. I mean, I think June of all the months of the year is like the least interesting month for fantasy content because not rookie season is over. Nobody's looking at redraft. I feel like July people start to really pick up redraft, but June is like just dead in the water. There's that other period from after the Super Bowl to early March. That's like a month in there. That's very quiet as well.
Well, we get the combine then, so we
do get the combine.
There's something,
but June is dead. I always find
there's
dead.
nothing
to talk about. Yeah.
But I will do this video. So, would you try to trade? What would you try to get in return for Watson and Superflex? Would you trade Tannehill for him in a second?
Now might be a good time to put Watson on the block because he just settled the cases. So you might be able to get more than you would have yesterday. So I might try to put Watson on the block. I don't know what you're going to get in return. That varies wildly from league to league.
Are you taking any first in Superflex?
No, I want more than that. But I wanted more than that even before today.
Would you do Tannehill in a first?
I barely want Tannehill. I'd say no. But I'm not sure I would have done that before today anyway.
Okay. You would do Cousins in a first?
Yeah. That's more like it.
Yeah, we're in that range. Mac Jones in a first.
Oh, I'd rather have Mac Jones than Cousins. So, yeah.
Yep. We're in there. I think Tannehill's a little too low.
Tannehill.
Would you do Pickett in a first?
No. I don't believe in him at all.
Just curious. What's AJ Brown's value now in Philly? Is he a buy, sell, hold?
Oh, he's a strong buy. People don't believe in him. But
no, they do not. And it's crazy.
Yeah. I have AJ Brown even in redraft. For redraft, I have AJ Brown at wide receiver 7.
Sorry if that was loud.
It's okay.
Wide receiver 7 in redraft? Holy crap.
Yes.
I mean, I guess he kind of has to be that high if he's still going to maintain because I think he's wide receiver 5 in June ADP, if I remember right, or maybe 4.
Yeah. So I still believe, put it that way.
I still do too. I think he is a strong buy. I've seen some really ridiculously low AJ Brown trades. People barely selling for a first or a first. And it's just kind of what are we doing? So yeah, I love buying AJ Brown. We just started round 5 in that startup, so maybe 2 weeks to update you.
List some of the trades.
I am very curious. This is such an intriguing startup that is going on. What's Michael Pittman's ceiling?
Wide receiver
8.
8. We agree.
Michael Pittman's ceiling. I'm trying to place like a name, like another player. Is Jalen Waddle last year?
Oh, they have nothing in common.
Just like statistically,
No,
Jalen Waddle was like the wide receiver.
They're not going to put up any sort of similar statistics whatsoever. I guess Michael Pittman's ceiling really is Mike Evans. If you want to be honest,
man, weird. Your internet connections. Hold on, it's lagging.
You sure that's you? You sure it's me?
Oh,
I'm not saying anything.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Or am I good on your screen? You're not.
You sure
good on
I'm
my
the
screen.
shaky one?
Yeah. You keep freezing. People in the comments tell me it's not me. It's Tyler, right? You come in and out. You come in and out.
They're saying that everything seems fine.
Oh, then it must be me. I'm trash.
It's you. Yeah.
Man, this has been quite the show.
Yes, interruptions. Non-children.
Nobody's freezing, investing fine. The stream is intact. It's probably you with your wife working from home. She's not actually. She's back in. She's in a different state right now, working from home.
Oh, so then it's not that.
No, but I wouldn't put it past my internet sucking. So we'll see. We'll keep going then. We'll keep going. I'll suffer through if everything's fine. Tyreek Hill, Kadarius Toney, and Elijah.
We answered this already.
Oh, see, you're back. At least on my screen, you're back.
Yeah, we answered this already.
Cool. I have Barkley, Dobbins, Breece Hall, and Dameon Pierce at running back, but barely any wide receivers. Which running back would you trade a wide receiver for? Trade for a wide receiver.
I mean, Barkley.
You could, based on the last trade show that Russ and I did, you can get some gnarly things for Breece Hall.
Probably.
You could get some pretty crazy things. I'm totally fine with trading all three of these guys for a running back, to be honest with you. Of like their equivalent values.
You mean a wide receiver?
Yeah. This whole show, I'm very distracted right now. This whole show.
Really? What are you distracted by?
That's just getting a FaceTime in the middle of it. Then my internet apparently sucks, and then it's just. But yeah.
Well, again, we're gonna have to have you on every week so the people can get the best of you.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
The people demand it.
Maybe not after tonight.
No, they're still demanding it.
I would trade all three of those running backs for a wide receiver of their equivalent values.
Yeah. But again, this kind of question, it always depends on what you can get.
Right. Yep. Daniel, what do you think about Elijah Mitchell and the 209? What do you think Elijah Mitchell and the 209 is worth in a 12-team one quarterback?
I can't imagine I'm going to like what I can get.
Combining the two turns into
Hollywood Brown. Can I get that? Take that. Can I get Hollywood Brown?
I like it.
Yeah. That's probably one of the only players that I actually might be able to get for this package that I would actually accept.
You're getting Bateman, I'm assuming, right? Like these are
I would accept that, but I don't think I'm getting Bateman. Because while I have Hollywood Brown ranked higher, I don't think most people do. ADP says Bateman's higher.
ADP needs to catch up on Hollywood.
ADP is a little slow. Also, I think the problem with ADP is equally that Bateman is way too high than Hollywood being too low.
Mm-hmm. Hollywood, Daniel. Henry's seen Star Wars over 700 times. Ryan, come on, Tyler. Pain in my face. Have you seen Harry Potter?
Well, I have seen Harry Potter.
All of them? All 8?
All of them. Actually, numerous times.
Nice. What about Lord of the Rings?
Ooh,
These are like the
not
standard
that
kind of
one.
sci-fi.
Not that one. That's the one that one has dragons in it, right?
No.
No, there are no dragons in that one. Yeah, no, I don't know anything about that one.
Well, I'm trying. It's not really a dragon.
No, that's Game of Thrones, which
Game
I've
of
also
Thrones
never
is the
seen.
one that has the dragons, really.
Yeah, I've never seen that one either.
Yeah, that sucks. Lord of the Rings is really, really good. Lord of the Rings is better than Star Wars.
I've heard of Lord of the Rings.
I said it.
I've heard of it. But unfortunately, I'm too busy helping the people.
Oh. So, do you want more or less of Tyler? Because if the answer is less because you want to watch these movies, then you're not going to like that.
Yeah.
Lance Addison, a 12-team super flex. Thoughts on trading Christian Watson, Tyler Boyd, and a projected late 2023 first for Ayuk, Cooks, Hunter Henry, a 23 second and 24 second.
The 23 first.
I'm taking. I would probably take the 23 first over that entire package.
Yeah, 23.
Then you get the upside of Christian Watson and whatever Tyler Boyd can give you. Yeah. Gavin, what pick should he be looking for when trading Alberto?
I'll take any second for Alberto.
Yep, I'm with it. I'd probably ask for 2 seconds because you might be able to get it, but I would take any second.
I'll take any second.
Shane, Cousins and Renfro or London and Ritter? Oh boy.
Cousins and Renfro is worth more, but I don't really want that. So
yeah, this is a weird move.
Yeah, it is a weird move. Cousins and Renfro, I mean, I have that ranked higher in my rankings.
Yeah. That's the side that I kind of went to first. Yeah, it's a 12-team super flex. Yeah. I would take.
That's the side I have ranked higher.
I would take Cousins and Renfro and move for something a little more exciting. It's like I like London. It's just the Ritter part is the. Yeah. Packers have potential out in Aaron Jones's contract in 2023. Just traded for Dillon. Realistic that Rodgers retires and the Packers only let Jones go. Also let Jones go in 2023.
Rodgers retires. I mean, I guess it's possible. That's not what I'm expecting, but I guess it's possible.
That's after 2023, right? Or is it after?
No, they haven't out after this year.
This year, okay.
Yeah.
I love buying AJ Dillon now.
Me too. Well, I like AJ Dillon anyway.
Yeah.
Because if Aaron Jones gets hurt.
Oh, he's got like top 5 upside.
Top five upside, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I like it. Doug, should we roster Gronk in Dynasty?
I'll still say yes for now.
Or if somebody dropped him, are you picking him up?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think Ayuk increases in value this season?
I'm going to say yes.
Does he?
I'm hoping.
I don't know if he does because what might actually end up happening is that nothing really happens to his value and then the incoming wide receiver class next year drops him down.
That's fair.
I think I can
We'll see. That happen. We'll see what happens. I do really still like him though.
I think he's all right. I just think he's fine.
I think he's good.
Barkley and AJ Brown for Swift and Cortland Sutton.
Barkley and AJ Brown.
The Sutton side doesn't match in this one.
Yeah, I don't want the Sutton side.
I like Sutton, and I'm not taking Sutton. 108 and 306, or Rashad Bateman in a 24 second.
Rashad Bateman.
Yep. Bateman's better than anything you get at the 108.
True.
Minus maybe Jahan Dotson, but
no.
Lefty says you got to dive into Star Wars.
But the people demand. They demand more Tyler. I will be honest. Like I have tried really hard over the last few months to have more time for myself because literally there was a time where I literally just spent every minute of every day doing this. So I have tried. Typically, I will say that I'm very much an extroverted person. So the last thing I'm looking to do when I have time not doing fantasy football is like watch a movie. If I had someone to watch it with, maybe, but everyone I know has already seen Star Wars. So like,
I'm sure there's Star Wars people in your life that would love to watch Star Wars with you for the first time.
I'm sure they would, but I feel like most people would prefer to watch something new.
The Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Bam. right there.
Okay.
Great. Last episode's tomorrow. Can't wait. 10-team Superflex PPR. Mark Andrews are a 23 first, Dox and Knox, and a 23 third. Is Andrews now Dynasty tight end 1, or is it still Kelsey? No, it's Pitts.
It hasn't been Kelsey for years, and it's Pitts.
I'd still take Andrews over Pitts, but it's Pitts.
I would not take Andrews over Pitts. But this is Andrews in this trade.
Over a 23 first.
Yes. I don't understand. Like,
no, I mean, I agree with you. That was not the side that I thought you would go with.
Why? I mean, you're getting Travis Kelsey 6 years ago. I don't understand why you don't want that.
6 years younger? Wow.
Yeah. You're getting someone who has the potential, who's already shown that they're great 6 years ago, who's just who's ascended every year. I don't understand.
No,
you're gonna be able to replace that with a single 23 first.
I completely agree. I'm totally in lockstep right
now.
Yeah,
no, I know. I don't understand that this is close.
Mark Andrews.
If it were 23 first, maybe that's something to think about.
Who is the next breakout tight end, Tyler? You already know my answer.
TJ Hawkinson.
Robert Tonyan.
It's not Robert Tonyan. TJ Hawkinson.
I am in love with Dalton Schultz.
But Dalton Schultz, how much better is he going to be? Like,
I need him to stay in Dallas.
He doesn't count as a breakout because he's not going to be better. Like, I don't think there's any way that Dalton Schultz outproduces last year. He's going to have more than 78 receptions for 808 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's going to do better than that. I don't think that that's possible.
I think he can flirt with 1,000.
No, I think that was I think last year was his ceiling. And I'm not saying he can't duplicate it, but I think last year was his ceiling. 8 touchdowns is a lot for a tight end who is not athletic. Like, he's just not. He's not athletic. He's just not. So, yeah. I think that was his ceiling.
I mean, Zach Ertz had 1,000 yards and stuff.
Right. So. But Zach Ertz's receiving skills were infinitely better than Dalton Schultz's.
Schultz is coming up on the age that Ertz was at the time.
Yeah, but I think I saw Ertz as a better prospect from the start.
Probably, yeah.
I think he had more talent from the beginning. So I really do think 2021 was Dalton Schultz's ceiling. I think you're in line for something more in between 2020 and 2021 this year is what I would project, which is why I have him ranked at tight end 7 in redraft. Good.
I saw somebody rank him outside the top 12.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. I mean, like I said, 2020, his 2020 was 63 for 615 and 4. 2021 was 78 for 808 and 8. I think that's his floor and ceiling. So if you split that right down the middle, you probably get around tight end 7, which is where I have him ranked.
I'll throw out Cole Kmet as well.
I just don't like him. I just don't think he's very good.
I just think the opportunity's there. So I think
opportunity's there, but I just don't think he's very good. He screams, like, honestly, he reminds me a lot of Dalton Schultz. He's just on a terrible offense, so it's not going to happen.
I love him.
Yeah, but the problem is that for a tight end like that, you have to be in the exact right situation. Cole Kmet is not it. He makes no difference as a receiver. He's just fine. He's actually a better blocker than he is a receiver. Yeah. He's a very good blocker. He's going to have a great NFL career. But is he going to have a great NFL career in our fantasy lineups? That one, I don't know. I'm not as confident. I'd rather have someone like Mike Gesicki, who can't block to save his life, but has receiving upside.
Jake says he's rebuilding and he owns Watson. Only offer he got was a 24 first.
Deshaun Watson? Yeah, that's not going to work. I'm going to need more than that.
Yeah, you gotta just hold through that because you're getting more whenever he comes back on the field. 12-team Superflex, JT, Brees, and Mahomes, or Lamar, CMC, and Justin Jefferson.
Wow. Talk about a big boy trade. I will take I will take the Lamar side. I'll take the JT, Brees, Mahomes side.
Ooh, tell me why.
Well, I'd rather have JT over Jefferson. I'd rather have Mahomes over Lamar. And Brees and McCaffrey are close to me. So, they're the closest of the comparisons. So, yeah, I'd rather have Mahomes over Lamar by a lot. Like, those two players are not in the same tier for me. of value, whereas Brees and CMC are, and JT and Justin Jefferson are. Whereas Mahomes, I'd far rather have over Lamar.
Amazing. Every word you just said was wrong.
How was it all wrong?
That was the people know what I just did. That was a Star Wars quote, by the way.
It was not wrong.
I would
People know that
you would
everything
take
I said was,
Jonathan Taylor over Justin Jefferson.
oh, absolutely, because running back scarcity is
Oh
just,
my gosh. No,
how
I
it
don't
works.
agree with that. I'm taking the Lamar side.
I mean, ADP agrees with me.
Barely. They're like 1 and
It has
2.
Taylor at 1. Jefferson's not even 2.
He's 3. Chase is 2.
I know. Because I manually copied in all of those data points.
I hate you so much. That's so annoying.
Oh, yes. It went very slowly.
I'm sure it did.
This, this V lookup thing that you told me about would have really saved a lot of time. But, I just felt like doing it a little differently this time.
To be honest with you, neither one of these sides I think are really losing.
Oh, the sirens are back. They happened when you were gone. And I pointed out that every week we have our weekly sirens where they always come back. I don't understand.
A siren emoji for this one.
Yeah, we need a siren emoji. I agree with that. We need a siren emoji. I've never figured out. I mean, I don't think there's anything I can do about that. It's so loud. I don't know how to.
You need to buy like a comforter and like hang it over your window or your door or whatever.
I don't think that's gonna work in New York City.
All right. David says 110 and 112 or Watson.
So I assume this is super flex and the picks versus Watson. I'll take Watson.
Watson too. Yep.
I just look. I just want to say about Deshaun Watson. I'll remind the people about this from time to time, is that I understand that people have legitimate dynasty questions about Deshaun Watson. And I don't want, it's just unrealistic that every time someone asks about Deshaun Watson that I don't feel like it's necessary that we have to bring up, everything with all the allegations against him every time, because otherwise we'd never get to answering those questions. I will say, and I'll say this periodically, that I will not forget what Deshaun Watson, now the cases are settled. I mean, at this point, it looks like he's kind of, to me, at least looks like he's admitting it, to move on, which is fair, but I won't forget. And, just because I don't address it every time a Deshaun Watson question is asked does not mean that I've forgotten. So I won't forget. And I just want the people to know that. So we can move on to the next question.
Nice. We've gotten to the connection part of the comments. Open 24 hours is in here for technical support. Appreciate you.
I could use some. Let me tell you.
Garrett Wilson or Sky Moore and Pickens?
Garrett Wilson for me. Those two players are too much maybe versus Garrett Wilson, I think, is a more proven sure thing as a prospect. Take Garrett Wilson.
I would take Garrett Wilson as well, but if it was Sky Moore and Jahan Dotson, I would take Sky Moore and Dotson. I'd take
Wilson over those two as well.
I'd take 2 over 1.
Neither one is good enough.
Oh, we got some Henry trades.
Ooh, all right, let's one at a time.
511 for a first. 602 and 1202 for that's another
less one. Good, but that one I'm like on the fence.
7, 9, 13, 11s for first and second.
First and second, I get. Yeah, first and second there. Because I'd rather second. Yeah, that one's better. The third trade is better than the second one. Because I'd rather have second and 911 are about the same. And first versus 711 and 1311 is a lot better than first for 602 and 1202. I like the third one.
305 and a 408 for the 205 and a first.
Interesting. I will take probably the 205 and a first, but it's close.
402 and 802 for a first and 604.
I'll take the first and 604.
So you chose Henry's side on every single one.
Yeah. So I guess I don't
Some
hate
more
it.
than others, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah. The one that gives me the biggest hesitation is actually the second one. The second one, that one I could have maybe done without, because the 5'11" for a first sounds good, but just 3 picks later, and then including a whole other player in the 12th round, you still actually will probably get a decent player. That one I'm not as, that one does not excite me. I might have passed on that one, but all the rest I would probably take the side with the first.
I'm surprised you haven't made a startup trade calculator.
Me?
Like I could see, like not like a whole calculator, you
How
know, but just
how
something that would be
Addison, I
like
can't even figure out how to use VLOOKUP. How am I going to make a
that's
how am I
fair.
going to make a startup pick calculator? Like, how am I going to do that?
We'll make it together.
Oh, please.
um,
I would actually really like that.
Jalen Ramsey had
No,
shoulder
okay.
surgery.
I get asked about stuff like that on my Patreon, like constantly. Like, when am I going to have this? When am I going to have that? And it's just like, unfortunately, tech stuff like that is not my area of expertise.
That's what I'm here for.
True.
Tyler, 12-team Superflex. What player value would you say is the equivalent to a 24 first?
I don't know. Like, David Montgomery.
Rashad Bateman.
Rashad Bateman I have right next to David Montgomery. So sure.
That range.
Hollywood
Player.
Yeah, those three. Because when I go up one more, Jameson Williams, I feel like is worth more to me. Treylon Burks, Travis Etienne, those are the players right above them that I feel like they're worth more than the 24 first. And then below have Mike Evans, Kenny Pickett. Probably don't want to do it. So Terry McLaurin.
Is this
Gibson.
like RB 25, wide receiver 25 area in your rankings? Is that where we're at?
Bateman is wide receiver 23. Montgomery is running back 18.
Oh, okay. So mid RB2, back end wide receiver 2. That's kind of where-ish we're at with the 24.
Correct.
Jake wants more Tyler. We love Tyler. I like this
You
one.
know, I really do appreciate all of the love. I have been, there were definitely yesterday, if anyone watched my show, I was very much not okay during that show. I tried to do it anyway. We had to cut that show short because I was just really not feeling well. I do feel somewhat better today. Still not perfect. There's still a lot going on, but I really am happy I was able to come out and do the show. And hopefully all of what I'm talking about is is not related to DLF, fantasy football, and Twitter is not related to any of that. It's all just personally life things for me. But yeah, I do hope that eventually some of that stuff clears up and I'm in a place where I can be a little bit more of what, I was able to give like a year ago. But I do try to give what I have instead of just kind of giving up and giving nothing. So I always try to give something if I can.
And that's why you're here. Love it. I like this one. There's only one return, and it is of the Jedi, not of the King.
Return of the King.
Yeah, that's the third Lord of the Rings movies title, and also the third original trilogy for the Star Wars title, Return of the Jedi.
I thought the Return of the King was when Derrick Henry returned for the Titans in the playoffs.
Yeah, but it wasn't as glorious.
It was not glorious at all. It was not glorious.
He did not bring a whole boat of ghosts with him, so it was all good. Always good stuff. Tyler Rogers in Green Bay did a little something to his contract last week that flew under the radar, made it seem more likely that he retires before the third year.
I don't know anything about that.
I missed this. Interesting.
I missed it too.
What does Google say?
It says that the contract has been tweaked. He'll get money sooner. So I guess that means he'll make 20 million more if he retires after 1 year because he's getting it now. I wouldn't read too much into that though. I don't think that means he's retiring. Yeah, but he's just getting a little bit more money up front. That's all.
It means he needs more money to stay.
It seems like it after Devontae Adams left.
Peanut Butter Jelly Time saw Star Wars when it first came out, and it was awesome. But he would pick now Tyler over Star Wars.
Man, you know, a lot of people on Twitter, when I made some of the posts talking about what I was going through, were like, "Oh, we need you, we need you, we need you," and I'm like, "No, you don't." Like, the fantasy football community would continue without me. Like, I'm not. It was fine. It was a great place before I existed, and it'll be a great place after I'm gone someday. But yeah, like I do appreciate all the people who feel that way. But you know, even I'm not egotistical enough to think that, you know, the world would end if I stopped creating content. But with that being said, I appreciate all the appreciation for my content.
This is 100% accurate. Season
I don't know
one of
anything
Mandalorian
about
is
that.
fantastic.
I've heard of The Mandalorian though.
It was a fantastic show. This is Gronk, by the way. Drop Gronk for Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan, or Cole Kmet.
Kmet. He's the only one of those who has chance really for dynasty value. So Kmet easily.
It'd be the opposite order for me. If you had to put like waiver order priority, it'd be Kmet, Tonyan, Thomas.
I'd rather have Thomas over Tonyan, but they're almost identical to me.
Tonyan, man. Henry said that Chase goes number 1 in 90% of dynasty startups he's seen, and he would also
on an ADP. So, and that's been, I don't know. It's not the case from what I've seen. I've seen Taylor go first more often.
Chase went number 1 in 33% of our ADP startups.
Yeah, and Taylor went number 1 in the other 4. So,
but he went 3 in the other 2. That's really interesting.
I've seen Taylor go 1 most frequently. To be fair, I've not seen very many 1 QB startups, but then in a Superflex startup, I've seen Taylor be the first non-quarterback taken more often than any other player. So
it's that, I mean, it's that whole group: Taylor, Chase, Jefferson. There's just a group of guys, and that's it. Yeah. There's nobody else.
But I do think that, you know, Taylor is the number 1 for the majority.
Grant just got a trade offered in a 1 QB 12 team tight end premium. He gets Elijah Moore in a 23 first that he says won't be late, and he gives Bateman, Hurts, and a 23 second.
More. I'd rather have more over Bateman. So this is easy. Yeah. More side.
Accept. Yep.
It is. Absolutely.
And 1 QB. Man, money.
Yep.
What is Miles Sanders' outlook for this year?
Well, I can tell you where I'm ranked for this year. I have him ranked at 27.
That feels about right. So I've seen some hype for him.
Not great.
Like whenever you throw out those like questions, it's like, who's a player that you're done with in Dynasty? Miles Sanders is the first person that comes to mind.
I don't believe in him.
Like I don't like, he doesn't have a contract for after this year. Does he do enough to earn a second contract to be on the Eagles? If not, where's he going? And if he goes somewhere, he's not going to sign for RB1 money. He's going to be like a traveling guy. You know? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets Kenyon Drake next year.
Yeah, I don't want him.
Like, he just doesn't do it for me.
No, he doesn't.
I'm willing to try. I want to get out. Any second, I'll get out.
I'm with you.
Tyreek and Montgomery for Kupp and Connor.
Kupp.
I'll take Kupp.
Kupp for me.
Kupp over Tyreek.
Yeah.
I think he's
I'll
safer.
Take Kupp. I'm low. I'm souring on Tyreek really hard.
I think he's going to be fine, but I think we don't want fine.
Yeah, we need him to be. I think we're starting to lower his value from what it was when he was the old Tyreek with Mahomes. So, yeah, I'll take Kupp.
David asks, Tyler, would you ever consider doing a meetup?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't.
He owes you a drink, though.
I appreciate that. I have a tip jar on my Twitter. Send it to me. I'll buy myself a drink that I won't drink because I don't drink. But I honestly, I can't see myself doing this. I've definitely felt. Look, I will say I don't think I was ever mentally someone who I shouldn't mentally probably have 25,000 followers. I don't think it's not good for me. So like it's not good for me, like the attention. So it's like, I don't even want to go to the expo. Like I'm kind of like content to just kind of do my own thing. And, there are I'd like to meet my co-hosts. I've never met any of them in person. Addison, Cal, Ryan, Conan. Other than Cal, they all live in a place where it is possible to be there relatively soon. So, but yeah, unfortunately, this kind of thing, like, I'm just not that kind of event planner. I don't see it happening, but you never know. I've always said that if there is a real fantasy football event in New York City, I would consider at least showing my face. But even then, I might not.
So you're not going to the expo?
No, there's no way. I just don't, honestly, I just don't want to. And it's just that simple.
Yeah.
I just don't have any interest in putting myself out there like that. I kind of just prefer to just create my content and just kind of do my own thing.
I'm on the fence as well about going again.
It's not that I'm shy. I'm like one of the most extroverted people I know. It's more just that I kind of don't, there's a lot of stuff in the fantasy football community, and I like staying in my own little bubble over here.
Where do you have Godwin ranked in Superflex? He feels like he's always getting a value on him in startups, and I'm sure
Superflex?
you are.
I have Godwin ranked 50th overall in a Superflex tight end premium. He's wide receiver 15 for me. So there.
That's probably higher than consensus, I bet.
It is. Yeah. It is. So
yeah, I'm sure
absolutely. I have been getting a lot of him, I guess.
Yeah. Whenever I get DMs asking if I would acquire Godwin for this trade, I always seem to find myself on the Godwin side.
You get DMs about, you get fantasy advice in your DMs?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I guess I never do.
No.
I don't have
anybody out there. You can just DM me and ask me.
Yeah, DM Addison. Don't DM me.
What does that mean? RB scarcity outweighs wide receiver prolonged production.
It's a factor. It's a factor in my rankings that RB scarcity, especially at the top, because it's harder to replace later. It's a factor. That's why Jonathan Taylor is one for me. But it's not. There are a lot of factors in my rankings.
So
I will generally say that questions about, I'm not consistent in how, like, I just rank in whatever way. I don't have principles other than that. I don't want failure. I don't generally, when a player has done a lot of failure, when a player is bad, I don't like them. I don't tend to be like, I'm in on the bounce back. Those tend to be players I avoid. But other than that, I mostly just try to rank in whatever way I can to get what I think the right answer is. I don't have to have like guiding principles when I rank. I don't care. I care more about being right than about having my rankings make sense, explaining wise. Like, does that make sense? Like,
yes.
I don't mind if there's a bunch of like what seems like logical contradictions in my rankings, because I'd rather be correct. I'm going to rank however it takes to get there. So does it make
sense to me?
So the answer to this question is sometimes.
So you don't factor in like the Jefferson versus Taylor or the Chase versus Taylor.
I factor in everything.
But the RB scarcity factors in, it seems like, more than RB longevity versus wide receiver longevity.
In that situation, yes. But in other situations, no. It's not even that simple, because I don't have Christian McCaffrey ranked that high. So it's not that simple. Like, I evaluate each player and then go down. And like, that's how it works. I start at the top, pick the player I'd want the most. And then in theory, if I were ranking from the beginning, I would get to the next player. And then I look at all the available players and, okay, who would I pick based on all of the factors? Then I move on to the next player and the next player. That's how it works. So I'm really evaluating one player at a time against everyone else. So yeah, there wouldn't be consistent principles, because sometimes I have running backs ranked higher and sometimes I don't. Like, how did I come up with the idea that I have DeAndre Swift, then Najee Harris, then CeeDee Lamb, then Javonte Williams? Like, why is it ranked that way? It's because that's how I value it. But like, I had RB scarcity was more important for DeAndre Swift and Najee Harris, but not for Javonte Williams. So it's like, questions like this are not there are people who rank that way, who rank more based on principles, but I'm more someone who ranks based on the specific player and then just one at a time. So
I like it.
my general answers to this, any question along these lines, is it depends. The only question, I'm very consistent. It's rare that I'll ever be in on a bounce back. But then you have Terrace Marshall, who I have ranked 40 spots above his ADP because his ADP is way too low. So I was out on him, but now his ADP is 80 points lower than it was 6 months ago. So I was 40 spots lower. I haven't changed anything. And now I'm 40 spots higher because the market seems to have just faded him. So you have situations like that.
Yeah, Terrace Marshall is not good. So
I agree with you. But his price was 128 before, and now it's 208. So it was unappealing, and now it's appealing again.
Would Pitts rank closely to the top 3 guys in a tight end premium?
Okay, so in a tight end premium, I have Taylor, Chase, Jefferson, and Pitts. I consider that a tier of players. Whereas in a non-tight end premium, I have Taylor, Chase, and Jefferson as their own tier, and then everyone else is lower. So I guess the answer to this question is yes, but I still have Pitts 4th of the group, but in the same tier.
What premium are you assuming?
The Trade Addicts 1.75.
Okay. Does that bump up in 2 or no?
If it were 2, I would probably have Pitts. It would be close. I would consider having Pitts above all of them. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Every additional point added actually matters more. Like there's a bigger difference between 2 and 1.75 than 1.75 versus 5, than 1.5 versus 1.25. Like each additional 0.25 added actually matters more than the previous, because that increases the odds that you can put a tight end in your flex with every 0.25 added.
Right.
So every bit added actually makes them more and more valuable.
Yep.
So yeah, if it were 2, I would probably have Pitts first above all non-quarterbacks.
Startup trade. Would you trade the 1001 and a 23 and 24 first for 301 and 504?
I'll take 301 and 504 there for sure.
Yeah, like I think that's a good. We basically said that we would take a 23 first over the 511. So if we call that kind of even right there, then the 1001 and a 24 first,
it's not
301 is easy.
Yeah. That's 23 easy. First and 504. 504 is around the line, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty easy there. Phil, what type of wide receiver should he target if he's packaging Sutton and Bateman together for an upgrade?
Those two together, Jalen Waddle. Or Jalen Waddle would be my target.
T. Higgins.
I prefer Jalen Waddle.
I mean, yeah, they're just. If you can't get Jalen Waddle, then I would.
I actually think you're more likely to be able to get Jalen Waddle.
You might be. I like that.
I have Jalen Waddle ranked higher, but his ADP is lower, so that's why I picked him.
Would you do Metcalf?
Yes, I would. He would be my second target.
Yep, I like it. You're not doing Diggs or Debo.
Nah, Diggs is too old.
Okay.
A Debo? I think I'd rather have Debo over that.
I don't think you're getting Debo for that.
I don't think you are, but I would rather have him if that's the question being asked.
Okay. 111 and Mitchell and 111 Elijah Mitchell and Amon-Ra for the 101.
101. This
Yeah,
is a bunch of crap.
It's just you're just taking Brees.
Yeah, bunch of crap for Brees.
Consistently getting Godwin in the 6th and 7th round. Yeah.
I've seen it, and you're right. So go for it.
Ethan, 10-team PPR, 2 quarterback. I have 7 2023 first. Someone offered their 23 first and Cam Akers for the 101 this year.
I'd rather have Akers than the 23 first over Hall. So
yep, I'll take that too.
I'm good taking it, especially in a 2 QB.
So now you have 8 2023 firsts.
I'm with the Akers side there.
And then you need the Thanos gif of him going like this and say
I have Thanos football
2
gloves.
to go. I guess
like when I play football, I wear gloves with the Infinity Gauntlet.
That is awesome. Well, you've never seen Star Wars, of course.
Never. I'm a big Marvel fan, but I've never seen Star Wars.
You should show them. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
2 to go.
Kind of dirty. I'd have to clean them.
2 to go. I want to see you get those by the end of the. I want to see you run the gauntlet. I want to see it.
Like. No.
Which side in a startup PPR? Pitts and ETN or Hall, London, and Komet?
I'll take Pitts and ETN. It's close, but I'll take Pitts and ETN.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too.
Yeah.
And that's with the video coming out tomorrow on Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
So, Flowosaurus, 12-team Superflex PPR. One, yeah, I read that right. Start 9, sending Judy, Lazard, and Thielen for AJ Brown. Again, this is the type of stuff that you're getting that you're having to trade for AJ Brown, and it's just so easy.
AJ Brown easily. Yeah, it's no competition, no contest.
Yeah, this is
a joke. Yeah,
trade for AJ Brown.
Yeah, AJ Brown.
Silence of the Lamb says good night. Appreciate all you guys answering all your questions, even though he thinks that Tyler thinks most of them are pointless.
I didn't say that.
There's no such thing as a dumb question.
There's no such thing as a dumb question. Yeah, like sometimes I can get like a little bit about things, but it's not,
I love all the questions.
Yeah, I love all the questions. There are some questions. The only time I, ever say anything is there are some questions that are difficult to answer on a live show. Or if you ask me a question about auctions or IDP, like I just can't help you. Especially not on a live show. I just don't know anything about those things. So can't answer them.
We love the questions. Spock, also, thanks for the show tonight. Appreciate everything. And that's the end of it. That's the end right there.
Oh, I love Spock though. Not the person. No, well, that's not what I meant.
I've never seen Star Trek, so we're gonna end the show like that.
I have. Yeah.
You've seen Star Trek, but you haven't seen Star Wars? What are we doing, Tyler?
Yep. I knew that would come up.
All right. So if nobody has anything else coming in here, we're getting out of here. It's 10 o'clock for me. I know it's 11 o'clock for you.
Yep.
So yeah, another awesome show. Cal will be back next week. I may or may not be back next week.
Yeah. We could have a 4-pack next week.
Holy crap.
If you want to join us.
That's getting spicy.
Yes, with your old colleague, actually.
Who?
The Hesterman.
Ooh, I might have to join you.
You might have to. It might be necessary. 4-pack would take the pressure off me too.
Yeah. Might be interesting. That would be the first 4, right? Is there?
Yeah, there might have been a couple times where we had 4 in here at time to time, but yeah, that would be the first.
I'll consider it. Things might be considered.
Consider it. The people demand it.
All right. Later, DLF. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Follow Tyler and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well.
True. Like the video for Addison. He'll get his wings.
There it is. Later, everybody.